Hey everyone, Mitch coming in from the Commander Score Studio. Welcome to the show. So, on this episode, I've got a brand new card for you, but not your typical brand new card. No, this one is the newest, most exclusivist, I don't know why I added ist, but it sounds right, overpoweredest card. New card, yeah, you know what I mean. It's new, it's exclusive, it's overpowered. Let's jump into it. So we've got a brand new Heroes of the Realm card, which is basically a card that is specifically made for Wizards of the Coast employees as a token of appreciation. So these cards are incredibly low in supply because, well, again, they are not sold. They are just made directly for employees. So yeah, these cards are incredibly exclusive, incredibly expensive if you want to get your hands on one of them, and yeah, they tend to be incredibly overpowered as well. Now, I will say if you do want to play this commander and you don't actually want to pay the price for it, well, yeah, Wizards definitely has already shown that they're okay with proxies because of MTG 30 and other things, so yeah, just make your own. But obviously ask your playgroup first if they're okay with it. And yeah, because the image that was posted on Reddit is a bit sideways, well, I decided to make my own custom version of the card. Thank you again, mtg.design. Yeah, here we go. Ersta, friend to all. A legendary planeswalker, Ersta, go figure, that has 5 starting loyalty and costs Wooburg. Now, I will note that I did kind of leave off on this card because there's already a ton of text on it. It was hard to fit on there. Ersta, friend to all, can be your commander. That's at the bottom of this, but just pretend that's there, okay? Regardless, the +1 is create a 1/1 human wizard creature token that's all colors. The -3 is choose a card name from among Enlightened Tutor, Mystical Tutor, Booster Tutor, Imperial Recruiter, and Worldly Tutor. Create a copy of the card of the chosen name. You may cast the copy without paying its mana cost. And -8, you get an emblem with. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you control 20 or more wizards, you win the game. So, first up, let's just break down these abilities because, well, I mean, the first one is pretty straightforward, right? Okay, +1, cool, I get to make some wizard tokens, great. And yeah, those wizards are all colors, so there are certain ways that you can take advantage of that. Kind of like, you know, how, well, Jared Carthalion makes, you know, Kamu tokens. You could take advantage of some of those, you know, multicolor synergies that work well with that. But also, you know, obviously, that +1 really kind of leans into that -8. Because once you get to 20 wizards, and you know you have that emblem and you get your upkeep, well, you can just win the game from there. You don't really have to do anything else. You can just essentially go all in on that strategy if you really want to. And of course, we'll talk about some cards that work really well with this here in a little bit. But yeah, there are plenty of ways to make that happen quite quickly. But the really crazy part about this card is not that +1 or that -8. And the thing that is, well, quite absurd is that -3. Choose a card name from among Enlightened Tutor, Mystical Tutor, Booster Tutor, Imperial Recruiter, Worldly Tutor, and you basically get a copy that you cast for free. So, yeah, anytime you are getting to cast a spell for free, that can be a very powerful thing. And, yeah, with these spells in particular, that's incredibly powerful. So now let's talk about the tutors that this commander just gives you essentially just by being your commander. You can, again, -3 to cast any of these tutors. Well, there's 2 other ones that we'll talk about here in a second. But yeah, Enlightened Tutor, Mystical Tutor, and Worldly Tutor are kind of all, you know, 3 very similar cards that act in somewhat different ways. All essentially 1 mana instants, 1 for white, 1 for blue, and 1 for a green. Each of which is going to search the library for a card, get that card on top of your library after you shuffle it. But yeah, it's a specific type of card for each one. Enlighten is going to be an artifact or enchantment. Mystical is going to be an instant or sorcery. Worldly Tutor is going to be a creature. And of course, yeah, being able to go get the exact card that you need for the situation that you are in is an incredibly powerful thing. Now, obviously, this goes on top of your library and not directly into your hand, but still. Of course, there are plenty of ways to just, you know, draw that card and essentially, you know, having tutored it in your hand kind of in that same way. So you can just utilize it right away. But yeah, keep in mind that there are a lot of possibilities and things that you can do with this commander. I mean, of course, if you really want to make this commander, you know, more competitive, you could just tutor for pieces of a combo to win. But yeah, there's a lot of different directions that you can take it. including trying to win with that emblem, essentially. And yeah, there are plenty of different cards out there that these can tutor for you to help you do that. I mean, ones that work well with planeswalkers like your commander, or ones that work well with tokens, etc., etc. And when it comes to the other two tutors, yeah, because there's basically, 5 tutors, 1 of each color, yeah, we have a booster tutor, which, well, this one isn't technically legal in Commander, but again, if your play group or those at your LGS have already agreed to you playing this Commander, I'm sure that they're okay with you playing this, or at least maybe they'll specify that they're not okay with this, or you can ask. Regardless, Booster Tutor is a very weird card. Instant for a black, open a sealed magic booster pack, reveal the cards, put one of them into your hand, move that card from your deck before beginning a new game. Yeah, an uncard for a reason. Typically, you're not supposed to be opening, magic booster packs during your game. But yeah, this one obviously is an exception. And of course, can lead to some very powerful plays. I mean, being able to get a card essentially from outside the game, outside your deck, and being able to play with it. Yeah, there are some crazy things that can happen there, including, getting some ban cards in Commander, essentially. Imperial Recruiter is the last tutor, which is actually basically a tutor on a creature, a 1/1 human advisor for 2 and a red, enters battlefield, search live for a creature card, power 2 or less, reveal, open your hand, then shuffle. Yeah, there are a ton of very powerful wizards that have power 2 or less, so yeah, this can definitely help you out. And when it comes to powerful wizards, let's first talk about some budget buys, cards that are within my budget requirements of being less than $1 that you're going to want to consider if you're building around this commander. And some very powerful wizards out there to consider are going to be ones like Talrand, Sky Summoner, Azami, Lady of Scrolls, and Grim Haruspex. Talrand, of course, says whenever you cast an sorcery spell, you get a 2/2 Drake. So yeah, you're going to be casting plenty of those, including 4 of the 5 tutors that you can actually utilize with your commander as well, so you can make a Drake army. Azami, Lady of Scrolls is incredible with this kind of a commander, though. Tap it on tap wizard, you control, draw a card. Yeah, your commander essentially just makes, now card draw engines for you as well. On top of, all the other wizards you're going to run, most likely this wizard tribal deck. Speaking of drawing cards, Grim Haruspex, great as well. Non-token creature you control dies, draw a card. Yeah, what's not to love about that? Speaking of loving what a card does, while Kaza Royal Chaser can lead to some very massive plays. Flying Haste, tap the next instant source spell you cast. This turn costs X less to cast for X the number of wizards you control as this ability resolves. Yeah, I mean, plenty of, big, maybe even some X spells out there that you can really utilize with this. Or, just basically reduce a cost, take out all that generic mana out of a cost and make it cost, basically, 1 or 2 mana for the most part. Stony Brook, Banneret, speaking of mana reduction, wizards are going to cost 1 less to play with this in play, so you can get more and more out more easily. And of course, there's some big ETBs you can utilize as well, like, Archaeomancer, enters the battlefield, return target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard to your hand. So some great recursion there, and yeah, if you've got any blink effects in the deck as well, you can really take advantage of that. Speaking of a great ETB though, Dualcaster Mage, whenever it enters the battlefield, copy target instant sorcery spell, choose 2 targets for the copy. This is actually a combo piece if you really want to utilize that as well, something like a Twin Flame. Sure, you can move that direction as well. Bloodline Necromancer, a great ETB, enters the battlefield, you can return a wizard from your graveyard to the battlefield. So yeah, basically kind of just add to your wizard count. Speaking of that, Stony Brook Schoolmaster, a wizard itself, when it comes tapped, put a 1/1 blue Merfolk Wizard creature token into play. Obviously, you can send this into combat, and of course, there are, like wizard anthems essentially that you can utilize as well to actually protect this in combat. Or, again, you can use something like Azami, Lady of Scrolls, this tap ability to actually just, tap it, draw a card, and make a wizard. Speaking of making wizards, I mean, Goblin Wizardry. I mean, obviously, a spell that is named this is going to be able to make you some wizards. You get 2 1/1 red Goblin Wizard creature tokens with prowess. So yeah, cast some spells, make them bigger. Casmina, Enigmatic Mentor is a planeswalker that can help you as well. Spells your opponents cast to target a creature planeswalker you control cost 2 more to cast. So that's basically ward 2 for your creatures and your planeswalkers. And then -2, make a wizard, loot. Yeah, what's not to like about that, essentially? Add to your wizard army, get up that count so you can get up to, 20, essentially, and protect your army while you're doing that, and loot. And finally, 2 more budget buys I'm going to bring up are Rootborn Defenses and Growing Ranks, which deal with populating, which essentially means that you get to create a token that's a copy of a creature token you control. Of course, you're going to have access to creature tokens because, well, again, your commander makes them. And again, the more times you populate, the more creature tokens you're getting, the more wizards you have in play, and the closer you can get to that win con. Of course, on top of that, Rootborn Defenses says, creatures you control get indestructible until end of turn, so it's a great way to protect your board, and again, protect that win condition. Growing Ranks is a great, repeatable way to populate. At the beginning of your upkeep, populate. So yeah, just basically repeatable value throughout the game, adding to your wizard count. But now that we've talked about some budget buys, Let's move on now and talk about some pricier picks, starting off with Song of the World Soul. Oh, I'm so sad that this card is no longer underneath my $1 budget requirement. I think it's like $2 or $3 now. Wizards, please reprint it. Anyways, whenever you cast a spell, populate. Yeah, this can definitely be a card that you tutor for with Enlightened Tutor, and I probably should have mentioned that as well, with the other cards I just brought up too. Yeah, Worldly Tutor and Enlightened Tutor are going to do a lot of work in this kind of a deck, getting you the exact cards that you need for the situation that you're in. And yeah, just setting yourself up for success. Again, whenever you're casting any spell now, you populate. So basically, at the very least, yeah, with that 1/1 wizard you're going to have in play, thanks to your commander, keep making more of those wizards. Speaking of making more of those wizards, there are plenty of enchantments like this. I mean, there's a decent amount, I should say. Anointed Procession, but effect would create one or more tokens under your control, creates twice that many of those tokens instead. This can make you an absurd amount of tokens by doubling up your token production. And yeah, obviously, doubling season, all the other ones. There's a lot. Adrixin of Twin Casters. There's even a creature that helps you out with it. Parallel Lives. That was what I was thinking of, and I couldn't think of the name. Anyways, yeah, of course those are going to be good. Of course they are expensive. Of course they would be good with this commander. Another way to help you with your token production, though, is with not a wizard, with this insect, Docent of Perfection, that says whenever you cast instant sorcery, basically you get a 1/1 wizard. Also, if you have 3 or more wizards, which you're going to, you flip it, and then it pumps your wizards, gives them +2/+1 and have flying, and it still has that token production for wizards as well. So yeah, this can kind of give you an alternative way to win with this deck as well by going wide and also, pumping your team and getting them through. But yeah, helps lead to, that victory, kind of like a Toll Rand, but, with wizards. So you can, get that emblem victory as well. And of course, outside of my budget restriction, there are plenty of other great wizards that you can consider for a deck like this. I mean, Baral, Chief of Compliance, Archmage Emeritus, Harmonic Prodigy, just to name a few. Baral is a great card for a commander deck like this. Reduce the cost for instant sorcery spells that you cast, and if you're countering spells, you basically get to start looting as well. Isn't that lovely? Speaking of drawing cards, Archmage Emeritus, whenever you cast or copy an instant sorcery spell, draw a card. Yeah, you're going to be drawing a lot with this. Harmonic Prodigy. If an ability of a shaman or another wizard you control triggers, that ability triggers initial time. There are plenty of triggers, as you can see with even just these cards that you're going to be able to double up on. So have fun with that. But now that we've gone through the budget buys, now that we've gone through the pricier picks, it's time for me to give you my final thoughts on this card. Yeah, I mean, Ersta, Friend of All, is a card that I think players out there could be pretty excited about. I think players out there could definitely kind of lean into, again, a wizard tribal deck that kind of goes about things in a different way. Again, with that kind of, fun way to utilize cards like, a booster tutor. And again, that's why I say, yeah, please ask your playgroup first if they are okay with actually playing against a commander like this, or, maybe they're okay with everything except for the booster tutor as well. Just make sure you ask ahead of time. And again, Wizards, of course, is 100% okay with you proxying things because they've shown in the past that they're okay, selling proxies themselves. So, yeah, go ahead and proxy this if you don't feel like, buying the actual one, which is going to be incredibly expensive because it's incredibly exclusive. So yeah, that's the new card. Make sure you let me know in the comments below what your thoughts are on it, and let me know if this is a commander that you would actually build around, or if, if your playgroup be okay with it, being built around. So yeah, let me know in the comments below all your thoughts on it, and with all that, of course, thanks again, and have a good one. This show and episodes like this one are possible thanks to viewers like you. If you're looking for an easy way to help support this show, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Also, hit that bell notification icon so you don't miss any new episodes. You can also go check out our playmats and other merchandise at thecommandersquarters.com. We also have a ton of brand new t-shirt designs in stock, so make sure you check out those as well. Another easy way to support this show is with our TCG Player affiliate links. So whether you're buying a deck or individual cards, you can use this general link right here or one in the description. And the final way that you can support this show is by supporting us directly by becoming a patron. There are many benefits to being a patron, and I truly couldn't do this without all of their support.